now. Titty top, titty top, titty top top.
Are you ready for me, girl?
Yeah.
Okay, come. Oh, oops.
Okay, I have to.
Oh, I
I like
I
that.
got no choice.
like this.
Mom, we can always get something if we have to.
No, it's fine. I don't want
Oh, oh, that's a big one. Okay. This one's kind of big. You ready? Gotta listen to it.
responsibility. Say it with me.
Ready?
Responsibility.
Say-
This is a really big word, so let's try it one more time.
Say that.
Responsibility.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, let's do it one more time. Let's try it one more time. You can say it with her.
Responsibility. You say it with me. Responsibility. This is a really big word.
That's pretty
Let's
good.
try it one more time.
Okay. Responsibility.
Responsibility.
Good job. That's really good. Responsibilities are like our special jobs to help things get done. Knowing about responsibilities will help us better follow the rules. Okay, here's a sentence, and here it is in a sentence. It is my responsibility to make my bed. All right. Yeah, you too. Yes. All right, that was done.
My is long.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I
Go on, scroll down. See this part. When we go from one activity to the next, or it takes me a minute to, she starts dripping,
Mm-hmm.
which is a bummer. But I would almost have to go through them first myself to prepare.
Yeah, like a teacher.
But-
It's
So yeah, you gotta you're literally learning with her, but then you can't.
Remember A said. And as I was looking and going on a scavenger, which I found that a much better thing. So what I want you to do after we finish this video is go to your house, go on a scavenger hunt and see how many letter A
Mm,
you can. I'm going to
we'll
show
do
you
that.
a few things that I found around my house. First, I found an what?
We have avocados.
My kids have. And I went through the pantry and found some almonds. Notice the A.
Ooh, almonds. We might
And
have some of
many
those.
of you have phones. I know this is a pretend phone, but look at the apps on it. Do you see the apps? We can find letter A things everywhere. And then I went back to the kitchen because I was so hungry and I found an apple. This is a green apple. Some of you may like the red apples or yellow apples, but this is a nice, yummy apple. And finally, what would you rather? Any of you have ever watched Cocomelon? I found this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you really do, just as long as it's cheap, nothing too fancy.
Yeah. For apple.
You go grabbing Chick-fil-A.
Go through your house and find some things with the letter A on them. I can't wait to hear all about what you found. What are you gonna eat?
I don't know. I'll probably have shake. I'll have something. Okay, hold on. I'm coming. Let me get off this. Coming. Are we ready for our scavenger hunt?
Oh, she's already looking.
Yep. Okay. I have to help you on this one. See this?
Yeah.
Avocado.
Avocado.
All right. What else can we? Here, I gotta put it up. No. No, that's a C. Cup. Yep. It's got an A.
Are tricky sometimes.
No, that's W. What? You got it. I think we have some almonds. So I'm gonna try. Isn't that strange how quickly you can go blank?
Airplane?
Yeah, airplane. An airplane. Oh, well, automobiles.
Oh, yeah.
Those are all automobiles. Yeah. Game. An arcade game.
My name is RK.
It is time.
It's a very What?
It's a vowel. Apple. Apple slice. Ah. How do you say go? Apple. Yep, those are all A's. Alright, hold on. Oh, we found it. Needed to find two. We found it.
Stupid
The letter A. All right, what we're going to do is which ones start with A? First, you want to say them.
Okay.
You think airplane? Yes, it does. Okay, what about axe? Axe? Yeah, that does. Axe starts with an A. Hat? No, hat. Hat. What about ambulance? Got an A? Ambulance. I'll do this one. What is this? Is that A? B? No. Is B? A?
Yeah.
No. Does B sound like A?
No.
No. Nope. So book doesn't start with A. Oh, what about apple? Yep. Oh, this one too. Astronaut. That's an A. Astronaut. What about ant? Ant. Ant. Look, say ant. Yep. See, that's A. Ant. Ant. See how big your mouth is? Ant. Yep, that's A. Good. Okay. Point to the A's. I'll click them. To that one. That one.
This I messed up.
They're all big A's. They're all capital A's. That one. That one. That one. Is there any more? No, I don't believe so. Good. Bread. So it's 3-5. Letter A practice. Okay. Oh, I think we get a worksheet going.
But yeah, no, fuck that. I'm just gonna go to the store. It'll be fine.
Yeah, did do somebody for me, Mom?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to get band-aids. I'm just gonna get the food we need.
Well, we need Band-Aids.
And we will when I have more time.
There you go.
Okay?
Watch the video. And then I think we're gonna practice our A's in the workbook.
We're working on the letter A, and I wanted to practice.
Oh, this whole week. Yeah, it is. Yep.
Okay, I'll be back.
Okay, I love you. Be very careful. That's your workbook.
Back.
And yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Not only that, we need the leftovers for the. We need real food.
Before you go out of town.
Yep.
So.
Oh, you're right.
If I cross the middle, so
See that?
my lower teeth.
Start right there, and then go back up to the top. Come down, and then boom.
And
Remember the small A? Up. All right, start here, go down. Yep, and then start. Yep, just like that. Good girl. Yeah, touch screen is a feature.
It is, and they want to do it.
Yeah,
so.
she wants to touch it.
Our Chromebooks at school are touch.
Are they all touch?
Yeah,
Wants to
they,
touch.
either one. They can
Yeah.
plug in a mouse, they can get a trackpad,
But
or
it's
they
also
can touch,
touch
they can
screen.
touch the screen. Yeah.
like this. And like that.
Yeah, you can do A's the small A's a little different. Hey, you gotta watch. I know it's boring. No, it's hard to pay attention sometimes. A is for apple. Apple. All right, you point the A's.
There's apple.
Okay, now there's big ones and little ones in here. There's capitals and there's uppercase and lowercase. Good girl. That's uppercase. There you go. Uppercase A, lowercase A, uppercase A, lowercase A. I'm gonna scroll down. Lowercase A, uppercase A. See any more? That's it.
Oh, do you have that?
Yep, we do. Okay. Let's see. We are on. It is topic 3, lesson 4. You want to go get your crayon? Crayon? Or you might want a pencil. It's up to you. What you would like to use. You can use a pencil, a pen, you want a crayon. Okay. You're gonna practice your A's.
I don't take it.
Yep, your uppercase and your lower. Just follow the lines. That's all you gotta do on each one.
So that's up.
Yep,
That.
you got it. And then do the middle. Nice. Looking good.
There are eggs.
Oh, there is a lot of A's.
There's too
Yeah.
many for me.
Not too many. You can do it. We can do this worksheet. You got this. We got it, girl. Had my feet up on the ground.
I think you find my shoe.
Don't worry, you're practicing. Yep, good girl. Don't get worn out. You got it. Walking through Memphis. My feet up.
How does he have this?
Nice.
Let's try to do this one.
Yep, now do that, bro. I know when you get towards the middle of the book or the edge, it's a little tricky, but you got it. Figure it out.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. The way I feel. I'm walking in Memphis. Let me see. Nice, girl. Nice. Good practice.
Now try to do this.
Yep, your little ones. Girl.
And then we did the.
Wait, we circle those A's, it looks like. I'll help you read the instructions.
I know the line.
Just follow the dotted lines. Just trace it. There you go.
You don't need the top.
Look at you. Look how good.
How do you get my eggs?
Really good on your A's.
Now try to do the other one.
The little ones. I see you.
How do you get my eggs?
Nice.
Now try to do the other one.
One more row.
Then we do this.
Let me do the next step.
Try to this with the egg.
Girl. All right, baby, it's 5 minutes. You're off that video games.
I don't have homework.
Yeah, you love homework. That's fun work.
Yeah, I take my homework.
Yeah.
I take baby homework.
Baby homework. Okay, let's go check out. See what that's all about. All right, where's the instructions? Circle the capital A's and the lowercase, the little a's. Circle all the A's down here you see.
A.
Good girl.
A.
A. What kind of A? What kind of A is that? Is that a big A?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, good girl.
It's big.
It's that big. It is. Comes to a point up top. That's a big A. A capital A. I see some small A's.
There. There, Dad. What's this?
This one. Yep. Lowercase. Small A.
Hey.
Not the E. That's kind of tricky. See the A? Nope, not the E. See, that looks like it. Yep. That's a little different looking. But yep, that's a lowercase A.
And this one.
Yep, that's not the E. That's a lowercase E trying to trick you.
It looks like this, but
That's they're made a little different
yeah.
than this one. There's two different ways you can write lowercase a's.
They're both the same.
On that one. Yep, do that.
They're both
Mm-hmm.
the same.
Same.
The others both the same like this one. Not this one.
Today's 16th. I think that's it, baby. All right, you can take a break. That was good for right now. We're caught up to today.
New body.
Yeah. We might do some more after dinner, or maybe in a minute. We'll see. Yeah, is it all done? You're throwing it away? Okay. Oh, hey, I got one more for you, baby. This is easy. It's about responsibilities. The word of the day. Hold on. Let me get the video up. Let me get out of your way. You gotta watch a video about responsibility. Remember that big word?
Yeah.
Welcome. Today we're going to talk about becoming a responsible superhero.
Oh. Cool.
I ate that dog.
Yep.
I ate this.
Just as a reminder, rules help us know what is expected of us and how to behave in different situations. They keep us safe and make sure everyone can have fun, and they help us learn and work together peacefully. Now we're going to add responsibility.
Yep. Gotta have rules sometimes. Sometimes.
What is a responsibility? In our families and classrooms,
Responsibilities.
Responsibilities are like special jobs that help things get
There's
done.
three brothers.
Hey.
You
gotta-
feed your pet.
I see you, but you
or
gotta
help
try to
set the
listen.
table for dinner.
Try to
In
listen.
the classroom, your responsibility might be to tidy up your toys.
Oh, yes. Is it your responsibility to make your bed and clean your room?
Knowing
Yeah.
these responsibilities will help us to better follow the rules. How can I be a superhero?
Oh,
When we work together and we can listen to each other, share ideas, and make decisions that helps everyone. It's like putting puzzle pieces together. And when we do our part, it creates something amazing together.
Amazing.
So remember, by following the rules and taking responsibility, we show that we care about others and want to contribute to our family and foster community. So let's gear up, put on our capes, and show the world how awesome we can be work together. Way to go. Now you know how to follow rules and take responsibilities like a true superhero.
Are responsibilities like special jobs?
Yeah.
Yes.
You do that try funny.
Which choice below is a responsibility? Feeding a pet? Is that a good responsibility?
Yeah.
Talking back to grown-ups? No, that's not a responsibility. Okay. Which one of these is a responsibility? Wait. Is dumping all your toys on the floor a responsibility? Or is cleaning up your toys a responsibility? Is cleaning up, look at me, is cleaning up your toys?
Yeah.
Yeah, good girl. Okay, if we follow the rules and take responsibility, does that show we care? Yeah, it does. It shows we care, right?
Yeah.
Because when we care, it means like we love somebody, we care about them. So that's why you followed the rules, right? You take responsibility
Yeah.
because it shows your mom you love her, you care about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it important to work together?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Good girl. It is. All right. Let me see. Let's make sure we got this. Or I send you off again. Okay. All right, Sydney, you need to save that, baby, and get off of there. Nice. Well, don't run off. Double check. Math and science. Math and science. Yep, we only have 2 more. And that's math and science, so we can do them here in a minute.
Mom.
After, maybe after dinner. Love you. Good job. Good girl. Fist bump. What's the word of the day? Responsibility.
Dad, I got accepted by Sam.
Good job.
Wow.
Good job. Good job.
Down on.
That was pretty intense.
Oh no, God, I don't have a down on. It's.
Oh, how'd you come home with a bunch of candy, kid? Oh, someone got a Tootsie Roll.
That I got accepted.
Hey, go hang this up on the back of your chair, please. Where's your... Yeah, we're putting it up. It's time to put it up. Right.
I need 4 more. Technically, I need 10 more.
Technically, you need 4 more. Hey, go see what your sister wants. What's going on? She need help?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Obsession, you mean?
Dad,
Well,
I buy him Cola. I buy him pizza.
why are you buying them? What? He's supposed to be buying you stuff, I thought. What is it? Are you woke? Have you gone woke on me? In Stardew Valley, you gotta. Oh, okay. I was gonna say that sounds like that woke commie talk to me.
This is what he loves. He loves cactus fruit,
Oh,
pizza,
oh,
maple bar.
wow.
This are
Okay. Hey, girl, nice. Come on. Oh, that is cool. I am happy for you. Yep, turn it off. Really?
yeah.
That happens.
We take some perfect absence.
He wasn't down with that. Huh, Isabel, you too. That TV goes off. 1 minute. Okay.
This percent. Not sad. 0.6. Oh man. Read every book.
Baby. Dude, I swear, if I have to say it one more time to get off there, I'm gonna get mad. No, that's. I know. Bad guy. Bad guy. Bad guy. Alright. What are we doing? Actually, let's do this. They said, and library. You close it. Home. Alright, that's Steam. Alright. Then we exit this. Alright. Here. Hey, where you at, Anton? Where'd you go, Anton?
Hello Info%, this is Anton, and today we're going to be diving into some mind-boggling discoveries from the realm of biology, and specifically a discovery in regards to chromosomes. Something that's ridiculously small, yet something that holds such an incredible amount of information, because it's able to fold DNA in such a way that it becomes an incredibly condensed molecule. But specifically, we're going to be discussing a discovery of a creature that seems to contain most chromosomes out of all animals we've ever seen. It seems to contain more than 450 of them inside each of its cells. And while we humans only have 46, this little guy seems to have us beat by a huge amount. And so let's talk about what this means, talk about some other organisms with incredible chromosomes, and talk about what this means for the evolution of life. But if you've taken a biology class a long time ago, let's briefly talk about chromosomes in case you forgot. So what exactly is a chromosome? Here's, by the way, an actual image of chromosomes from a human male. Well, think of it this way. Your body is made out of trillions of cells, and inside almost every one of these cells there is a nucleus. And if you look inside the nucleus, you're going to find DNA. The instruction manual for building and operating you and me. But if you took all of the DNA from just a single human and then tried to stretch it out into one single string, it would actually be approximately 2 meters long. And that's somewhat difficult to fit into a cell. And so to solve this problem, nature came up with this ingenious packaging system. The DNA, which is super long, first gets wrapped around proteins called histones, which act like little spools so DNA can coil around them very tightly, which then creates a very compact bundle of DNA we call chromatin. And when a cell is ready to divide, the chromatin condenses even more, becoming ridiculously packed. And so it actually starts to look like a rod, or often an X shape, with these highly condensed structures even visible under a light microscope. And so here what we're actually looking at is a very large molecule of DNA. And well, it's this that we call chromosome. They're basically organized packages of DNA that contain all of the genes for an organism, with the word chromosome just meaning colored body. And that's because they usually stain very strongly when using certain biological dyes, making these molecules very easily visible. But why do they even exist? And also, why are they so important? Well, they seem to be essential for both stability and diversity, and their main purpose seems to be stability. So basically, imagine trying to move a 2-meter-long molecule without it getting tangled or ripped apart, and that would be kind of impossible. And because each cell during division requires a complete identical copy of the genetic instructions, by compacting DNA into these chromosomes, it makes it much easier for the cell to separate each copy accurately, with each bundle package then being delivered to a new daughter cell. And it's really when this process goes wrong that sometimes we get certain diseases. But this is of course essential for cell reproduction and for evolution, which is that second part, diversity. In sexually reproducing organisms like us, chromosomes play a crucial role in mixing and matching genetic information. Before reproductive cells, such as sperm and egg are made, chromosomes from your mother and your father usually exchange small parts of themselves, and the process referred to as recombination. And so this generally creates a new combination of genes, which makes each of us kind of unique. And so here this ensures that each offspring are genetically unique and creates this genetic diversity that's vital for evolution and for adaptation. But we also know that the number of chromosomes differs from species to species. As a matter of fact, sometimes this number can be very surprising. Although here I guess it's important to kind of mention one thing. Here it's easy to assume that the more complex the organism, the more chromosomes they're going to have. But that's not always the case. We humans, for example, have 46 arranged in 23 pairs, and something like a fruit fly, which is much simpler, only has 8 chromosomes. But another animal that could be sitting next to you right now, a dog, actually has 78. A horse has 64, and some plants, like for example tobacco, also have 48. And though generally most bacteria usually just have one chromosome, here the number does not represent complexity of the organism or how evolved the organism is. Because the point is that the absolute number of chromosomes doesn't directly tell us about complexity, and really more about how the genetic information is organized inside a cell. And that's because sometimes evolution causes chromosomes to fuse, and sometimes it causes them to break apart. And the best example here are our cousins, chimps. Chimps also have 48 chromosomes like the tobacco plant, but humans have 46. And that's because 2 ancestral chromosomes eventually fuse to form human chromosome 2, the chromosome you see right there on the left. Whereas in chimps, it's still 2 different chromosomes, referred to as 2A and 2B, which is of course one of the main reasons why we consider to be 2 different species. And so all of this brings us to this new discovery and this new record-breaking animal. Here scientists finally confirmed that somewhat unassuming beautiful butterfly from the mountains of North Africa, and the butterfly usually referred to as Atlas blue, or scientifically Polyommatus atlantica, officially holds the record for the highest number of chromosome pairs amongst all living animals, 229 pairs, and somewhere between 448 and 452 chromosomes. And even for butterflies, this is super weird. Most butterflies and most moths usually have 31 or 32 pairs. And so this is not just some kind of a slight increase, this is a massive, unprecedented multiplication, making this butterfly really stand out amongst all of the animal species. But here is a super important side note. There are some organisms out there that have even more chromosomes. For example, this somewhat unassuming plant, Ophioglossum reticulatum. This has 720 chromosomes, which is almost twice as many. And some single-cell organisms, such as certain ciliated protozoa, can even have chromosomes numbered in thousands. But there is a slight difference here. First, for some of these very simple organisms, these are not true chromosomes, they're actually referred to as nanochromosomes. And for plants that have a lot of chromosomes, they're different from animals like us because they tend to have more DNA sets. In other words, they don't have pairs. Instead, they usually have at least 3 sets of DNA, and sometimes even 4 or 6 copies. This is referred to as polyploidy. Here's sort of a visual example of what this looks like. And so the single-cell organisms that reproduce very differently do sometimes contain more chromosomes, whereas plants that don't use sexual reproduction very often have a lot of chromosomes too. And that's because they tend to evolve in a very different way. But that's something we'll discuss in some of the future videos, so, subscribe and stuff. Anyway, when it comes to animals, this is definitely the record holder. Here there's only 2 sets of DNA, like in humans, but still a ridiculously high
Whoa.
number of chromosomes. And it looks
This
like,
almost
based on
got
recent
whacked.
studies, it was possibly the result of previous butterfly chromosomes somehow falling apart, or being broken apart into many smaller ones that instead of 32 pairs, now became 229. Here's roughly what this would look like if you were to try to image this and try to use a microscope to look at the chromosomes. And so what exactly is this for, and what does it tell us about life on planet? Well, one of the strange surprises in this case was that the non-sex chromosomes in this butterfly, referred to as autosomes, for some reason went through this really deep fragmentation. And this really likely happened super quick, in approximately 3 million years of evolution, which is considered to be very quick in evolutionary terms. But it really likely started with just 24 chromosomes from some of the ancestral butterflies. And so here's some kind of a splitting event, eventually turned this into 229, with a lot of the splitting and these fractures occurring in areas of DNA that was wound much less tightly, essentially making the DNA break much easier. But the surprise from this study is that normally these unusual breaks and these very extreme reorganizations of DNA are considered to be kind of harmful or even detrimental to organisms' survival. But in this case, Atlas Blue survived and thrived for millions of years, suggesting that sometimes these breaks and this fragmentation can increase resiliency and adaptability and can actually be beneficial and not detrimental. But even more surprisingly, the sex chromosomes of this butterfly resisted the fragmentation, suggesting that there might be specific evolutionary limits why certain chromosomes need to stay intact. So maybe breaking up sex chromosomes would just have too many negative consequences for reproduction. But this is not just a biological curiosity.
I did. I didn't have time to.
Because this does
But I
have a
did
lot of
notice, yes,
implications
thank you.
for medical fields.
We'll
We
see.
know that in human cells,
She
chromosome
wasn't crazy
rearrangement
about
and
mandarins
chromosome
at the
fragmentation very often causes major
I thought she would. At
and so by
first, she seemed
understanding
like
how this
she was.
happened to this
Yeah.
butterfly
At first, she
and
seemed
how
like
it was
she
able
was
to
going
survive
to.
this, and also by basically
But we'd also
understanding why
just
this
come home from
happens,
school.
although my guess is that it's some kind of a virus, here it might help researchers find new ways to limit or stop various destructive processes inside human cells, especially in certain dangerous conditions. And so
I love my kids more than anything.
Which is why, Mom,
can inform us and can help us
Now
understand
it's so hard to
human
swing
life.
the camera and drive.
So, for example, there's something known as sperm DNA fragmentation, which is often a cause for male infertility. And here we know that the damage and the fragmentation seems to result from some kind of oxidative stress or exposure to certain toxins. Likewise, DNA fragmentation has also been observed in various neurons and seems to have been linked to neurological disorders such as epilepsy, schizophrenia, and even Huntington's disease.
I don't know if I
And
want to try.
Huntington's disease is currently untreatable. And so these organisms and these extreme examples can maybe help us one day understand why this happens, how this happens, or how to even stop. And all this could be coming from this beautiful blue butterfly. But until we discover something else about chromosomes in DNA, or until discoveries of some other strange animals, that's all I want to mention. You can find all the links, including this study right here by Charlotte Wright and her team, in the description below. And on that note, thank you for watching, subscribe, come back tomorrow to learn something else. Support this channel on Patreon, where you can find additional videos without any ads, and can DM me directly, or by joining the channel membership that grants you early access and a few more additional secret videos. Or you can also buy the Wonderful Person t-shirt in the description. Stay wonderful, I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy. Okay.
to sing my
Oh, I forgot to repeat that. Cover that completely.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's Jeff Gerstmann here with you on the Jeff Gerstmann Show this
Premium
week,
gamer.
where we're going to talk
premium
about
games.
video games,
That's Gerstmann.
the latest of them, the things that are happening in and around
That's
them,
the local. That's the local.
and the people that make them,
That's the current meme. Gaming meme.
and their choices that
A
they
new
make
game
on
came
social
out, and,
media.
like, it's,
I don't know, man. Woo! Here we are
it's not
to
running
talk
very
about
well.
video games. It
And the guy
is September
came out
16th,
basically with running
2025.
hardware, you know, people's
This
hardware
is the first time we have convened for this program
Big
since the
stuff,
release
right?
of Borderlands 4.
Borderland is premium game.
I've got a full review of that up if you want to see it. It's you know, if you want to read that review, it's on Patreon, patreon.com/Jeff Gerstmann. You get an ad-free version of this show. The review is up there for free. You can just go check it out.
But you know how the internet is, they're
and
just
so on and
waiting
so
for
forth.
somebody
So
to say the wrong
bonus
thing.
podcast every week, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Go check that out. Hello.
This week's
There's also a video, you know, when the game came out. Borderlands 4 has been an interesting launch, and the days following, it was out on the morning of September 11th here in the States, at least on PC, and then console players had to wait until midnight because, for whatever reason, people still either can't or don't want to get that straight and launch it for everybody at the same time. I don't know. It's that stuff's dumb. Like, that stuff should be coming out. Okay, sometimes games have online servers that they don't want to get overwhelmed by a worldwide launch. Like, I get it on that front. Borderlands is not one of those games. But my view is that we should just be doing worldwide releases, and, like, you know, we should be playing games at 4 a.m. or whenever. You know, people shouldn't have to go set their Xboxes to New Zealand in order to play video games. Just put it out. Like, it's just not worth it. Just put it out, man. You don't need to do a midnight launch. You can just do, well, I don't know. That would probably change everything. If they wanted to do worldwide releases, they probably would time it around North America and just do midnight and tell the people in New Zealand to get effed, I guess, is probably how that would go. And there's considerations for physical media. The more I talk about this, the more of a logistical nightmare it actually sounds like. So
at first, I think
whatever.
they weren't black.
That said, console releases being separate from the Steam release stuff is always kind of weird. Anyway, Borderlands 4 is out now.
Had to design them, had to make adult video
I reviewed it. My general sentiment on it is that it is better than Borderlands 3, but that's a very low bar. It's still a game with, I think it's a game that I think feels old in a lot of ways, and
that's different than children's
and
products.
doesn't necessarily feel like it has moved forward into time. You know, it just feels
now
stuck.
I think they're switching
Borderlands
back,
4 feels stuck. They added the ability to grapple and do like double jump air dash type stuff, but like the game doesn't move fast enough for it to feel like a movement shooter or anything.
I don't know.
Like, it just feels.
Are we? I don't.
Bleh.
No.
And so, you know,
we haven't
there's
aged out
certainly
now,
a lot
are
of
we
room for
gonna age
nuance there,
out?
but a lot of the conversation after the release of Borderlands 4 has been around its technical
they never
performance
aged out of comic
or lack
book,
thereof, especially on PC. It sounds like the console versions, which is it is not out on Switch 2 just yet. That is an early October release date for whatever, you know, they're not done with it yet. And so that version is coming along in a few weeks here, but it is out on console. It sounds like what I've read and saw a couple videos of it, it's generally a 30 frames per second sort of game. Sometimes you're getting a little bit higher than that, but you know, I would not want to play this game at 30 frames per second. I barely want to play it at 60. So, you know, but at least the console performance sounds like it's relatively stable. On PC, it's been a real crapshoot, and it's come at a time when I feel like the conversation around Unreal Engine 5 and optimization of games and how much or how little developers are doing that these days, and you know, there's a larger conversation happening that Borderlands 4, I think, is like right in the center of.
No, I was thinking about what you were saying with that.
The people at Gearbox or 2K, I mean, who owns Gearbox now. Remember, this is also the first Borderlands game that has shipped since.
Oh yeah.
You know, 2K, since Gearbox went to Embracer and went away from Embracer and got bought by 2K, and you know, presumably all of the Gearbox people are either employees of or contracted to 2K.
You did not
just
pull
out
away
there
from me,
freewheeling on their own. And it makes me wonder, you know, like if the game shipped a little
It does
faster,
help,
like on
though.
a slightly
I bet you that's a
faster
sharp
schedule
little
than maybe they
Actually, I'd say
originally thought it was going to, or something. Not that the game necessarily.
it really does help.
I just remember
Having stuff
I can't get this.
because there was a time when Gearbox was an independent entity,
trying to time
and
it
they
all.
were working with 2K to publish. 2K was publishing Borderlands, and the and
But everything is
2K
different
owned part of
cooking
the
times,
Borderlands
and
IP,
not
I guess,
just
but they
the
couldn't really do
time, but
anything
like
without
you,
Gearbox.
like
And
you know, you have
I
to
remember
sit on top
hearing,
of
and this
it,
is like
you have
second
to-
or third
it's
hand,
different. It's
so
a lot.
you know, consider that, I guess. But that 2K really didn't like a lot of things about the way Gearbox operated and presented itself, and how, you know, its leadership would be on social media, and you know, just a lot of stuff around that of just like, man, just get the game done, like get the game done so we can market it. Like, what are we doing? And so I remember thinking when 2K finally acquired Gearbox and kind of closed that loop, I was like, oh, okay, well, let's see how it goes. Randy Pitchford's out on Twitter, not this.
Oh, well done.
Let's back up. The game itself, I have had fewer technical issues on the PC than I suppose a lot of other people have. I am on a significantly overpowered PC for what these, you know, what these system requirements.
Jeff's a premium gamer, bro.
In this machine,
Told you.
I also played a chunk of it on a 4090. CPU's kind of clearing the bar on both ends as well. I have an Intel and an AMD CPU that I've been messing with. And so I've been playing the game with pretty much everything turned up and running it at 1440p because that is the preferred resolution of demons, and 4K is for suckers. But actually, I kind of in a backwards way. I played it at 4K on the 4090 because that's what's hooked up to the TV behind me. And I played it at 1440 on the 5090 here on a monitor that can do 360 hertz and all that other cool stuff. For me, the biggest problem has been around shader compilation. It's been like shader stutter is kind of the kind of common issue that that the game has had, and it's been bad. So in the week prior to the game's release, when reviewers had it and were playing it, they pushed out a few different patches. And if you've ever played Call of Duty, like I feel like Call of Duty is maybe the most noticeable, but a lot of games do this. Any game that like puts up a screen that says, "Hey, we're compiling shaders," you tend to know that if you update your video card driver or whatever, that you know you're going to see that shader compiling screen again. Or if the game patches, for example. So they patched the game a few times as they were getting their day one patch in line for launch and whatever else. And so I got to experience the magic of loading into the middle of the game with no shaders compiled because it had a shader compilation step on launch. And most of this is in the video. Like the video I put up has like all of that in there. It's shader compiling and all of that stuff. If you want to see it. So it would throw up a screen and say, "Hey, we're compiling shaders." But then you would get in game and it would have to compile them again. It was like it was only compiling them for the beginning of the game, but I had a character 20 hours in, And so I would load into an area, and it would stutter. You know, it would be working in the background to compile these shaders. And I guess, you know, shaders are, you know, graphical effects in a game. And so sometimes you're programming, if you're developing it, you're programming these custom shaders that might only be seen once or twice, depending on what you're showing in the game. It might be something like, oh, here's the shader for this gun's explosions. And so the minute someone gets one of those guns, the game might stutter a little bit while it goes, oh, we need to show that explosion now. You need to compile this on the fly and go. So it's compiling a ton of things on the fly around about the environment around you, your character's feet, your character's guns, your character, whatever. It's going to compile all of that stuff. And it's trying to do it as fast as possible, but it's doing it while you're playing the game. And so that sucks. It makes it unplayable for a brief period of time, but then it's done. And it's sort of a one-time thing until the game gets patched or you update your video card drivers, and then that whole cache of shaders that compile on the fly gets dumped, and it does it all over again because they may have changed. And that's modern gaming. Unreal Engine 5 is generating a pretty bad rap over the last chunk of time here for this kind of shader stutter as these things compile on the fly. And Borderlands 4 feels like a very outsized example of this problem. Because you would have it compiling shaders for a minute or so before it would even let you see the main menu. And then you would get in the game and it would be a slideshow for a minute or so while it's looking around and it's compiling everything. But then as you move through the game, when you get to the next new area, especially if you're moving fast on a vehicle, if you're boosting into a new zone, for example, because there's like, oh, here's the snow area, here's the desert. If you're going from the desert into the snow, the minute you see snow, it goes, oh shit, and stops again. It goes while it figures out what snow is supposed to look like.
Go run.
It's a very normal thing. Games do it all the time. But it's bad. You know, it's not a good situation to be in. That said, you know, I played most of the game without that issue because, again, once it compiles all of that stuff, it's not a big deal. It wasn't until they started pushing out patches, because then it's like, okay, well, now I'm here doing this, and now I need to fast travel across the world to turn in a quest. So you're loading into the game, it's stutter, it smooths out, you go to fast travel, you fast travel somewhere else, the teleport takes forever, another compiling shader bar appears on the teleporting screen.
Shotgun,
you get there, and then it's bad for a while too. On top of that, stutter, and then it smooths out, and then you're gaming, baby. And so that was largely my experience with Borderlands 4. It's like, here's this kind of, it's a known problem that a lot of games have. This has it in a pretty extreme way.
Oh, no.
And it's something that, you know, was exacerbated by a couple of patches that they pushed out in the wake of, you know, so I was like 2/3 of the way through the game, and then they pushed out a patch. And then I had to go through all of that again. And then as it was getting to where it was smooth again, there was another patch and it dumped cache again. And it, you know, kind of went through that whole thing. So it's the sort of thing that, you know, once the game is settled and drivers and all that other stuff, you may notice it once and then it will not be a problem. And so by and large, my experience was not sullied by this. But it was extremely noticeable when it happened.
Wasted.
And so that has been my technical problem with the game. That is not the same as what has led to it getting like mixed reviews on Steam. It's certainly a contributing factor, I'd say, that people are seeing this and some people are not knowing what it is and they're going like, why does this run like garbage? It's why so they put out these graphs and charts for people with AMD graphics cards and people with NVIDIA graphics cards. And the charts are way too small when they embedded them on Steam. You can't even read them. And so they had to update it again to like put the charts into text form in there on top of that. And the recommendations they're making based on your GPU are like truly fucking crazy to me. Because they are like the recommendations on their chart for how you should set up their game. They'd be like, okay, set this to far distance, set this to like individual settings should be set this way based on your GPU. They're not saying anything about CPU, which I think is weird.
Yeah, there
But,
it is.
like, their recommendations are to always use DLSS on an NVIDIA card, which I think is fine. I think DLSS is generally fine. Some people are still under the impression, and I think at like lower settings on lower powered systems, like, you know, it can make things look blurry and so on. I think that it's actually
everything you need to get even.
That stuff has mostly been fine in a lot of games. If you're trying to blow things up to 4K, that you know, you may notice it a little bit more. But again, at 1440p, that has not been a big deal. For me, the thing that I find to be bananas and says that they made this chart just to get a number up. None of this is about making the game play right. This to me is about trying to get the frame number up, even at the expense of the feel of the game. So their recommendations for anyone on a 40 series or 50 series GPU is to turn on frame generation.
That's for real.
Which frame generation is basically, it is using whatever neural stuff on the GPU to generate fake frames. So it'll take real frames and insert fake frames between them to kind of smooth things out. It's neat technology. It's kind of cool in a weird way. However, it induces latency. It can make the game feel worse, because obviously you can't control a game when a fake frame is being shown. And so you end up in a situation where if you push that too far, the game starts to feel worse. The thing I'll say as a 5090 owner, I have not found the 5090 to be like an amazing upgrade from the 4090. For games, on the video encoding front, it's been really cool and fucking kind of awesome. But I'm using it right now to broadcast this stream. But I will say, in the 50 series cards, on the 5090 specifically, I am now able to turn on 2 times frame generation, 2x. So it will insert one fake frame between every frame. And the latency hit is not...
Hey there.
Hey there,
is not especially noticeable
I'm
in
hungry.
most
Let's
games.
eat.
I'm down with that.
On the 40 series cards, that was not the experience. On the 40 series cards, anytime I turned on frame gen, the game felt like shit. And so it was just a bad option. They have gotten better at doing it. And so 2x frame gen on an NVIDIA card, I have found to be okay in a lot of games. I'm not sure that I would trust it in a competitive game. But like, I'm lining up headshots, it's feeling the way it's supposed to feel.
I didn't notice it before.
After I made some, I just turned that to
you.
2x, and then also I had to turn the dead zones way down on the controllers because, like, by default it just looked fucking terrible. Or, like, it just felt like the controller just felt that kind of fucked. But they are recommending that anyone with a 50 series card turn on 4x frame gen, which I think means they can insert up to 3 fake frames before every real frame, or after every real frame.
I'm completely worthless, don't you think?
That's crazy. So I, over the course of reviewing the game, the new video card drivers came out, specifically with like, oh, this is for Borderlands 4, and it didn't make a big noticeable change on that front or whatever. But it also, like the NVIDIA app, like I think what happened is the NVIDIA app optimized in fucking big air quotes here, the game for what their recommended settings were. And as part of that process, it turned on 4x frame gen without telling me. And so I'm in the middle of reviewing the game, and, you know, like I'm shooting people in the head with a shotgun for hours and 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 hours. Because that's that game. Do you like shooting guys in the head and then shooting them again because the one headshot didn't kill them? How about would you like to unload a submachine gun into an enemy's face for 10 seconds or more while you watch their health bar tick away slowly? Welcome to Borderlands 4. That's the Borderlands 4 experience. It turned on 4-time frame gen, and I was missing every headshot. The whole game felt like molasses. It felt like shit all of a sudden, and I didn't know why. I'm like, am I just playing bad? Am I tired? I am tired. Is it because I'm tired? What's going on? Am I just bad at this? Like, what the hell is going on? And then I just randomly dipped into the menu and noticed, like, oh, you turned this on. like something, you know, whether it was like the game when the game patched or the video card driver, like some optimization somewhere along the way, 4 times frame gen got turned on and the game felt like garbage. So the idea that they are recommending this for everyone on a 50 series card, I think is straight up irresponsible. I think it is something that, again, is them trying to paper over their bad frame rate issues in ways that will make the game feel noticeably worse. And I think that's really crazy. And I think that's it's like a bad precedent. Like it's just bad top to bottom, man. It's a really messed up way for them to go. And so this chart of them going like, okay, you can set the DLSS to quality no matter what GPU you got. And if you want this, then set it to high distance or this to very high. And then they've got all of these hoops for you to jump through at different resolutions for, you know, whatever you want to try to do, whether you're running at 4K or you're running at 1440p. They have different recommendations and all this other stuff. And it's a lot. It's like settings for every single setting. It's a lot to have to sit there and go through. And so clearly there's work to be done, PC gaming, right? Yeah. I would look at that and go like, well, that's something that, you know, this game, this is not the first game in the world to ship in an imperfect state, in a state of not being as optimized as it probably needs to be. And ideally, they will keep working on it, and they will
that is true.
chip away at this problem as best they can.
Curtain hovering underneath your sink.
And then enter Randy Pitchford.
No, in the video game, they've got a curtain. Look,
Gearbox, the
this used to be a real deal
that made Borderlands. There's a way to handle this, right? There's a way to talk about this as it's happening, and I think it's, you know, it's not entirely unlike the way I just spoke about it, right? Like, hey, you know, there's still work to be done. You know, like we're still, you know, it sounds like some people are not having the intended experience, and so, you know, we're continuing to work on it. We're trying to identify if there's a common issue here, and we'll keep working on it. Contact customer support if you want some specific help or whatever. That would be a way you could talk about this. Instead, he's out there saying things like, and these are great headlines that, like, from PC Gamer, like, you know, Windows Central, like multiple outlets are kind of picking up on this because it's just so. It's just so. Borderlands 4 is a premium game made for premium gamers. If you're trying to drive a monster truck with a leaf blower's motor, you're going to be disappointed. And so he's kind of turning this back onto people and saying, like, yeah, if you have a PC that's like, you know, like 4 years old, you can't expect to run it at the highest specs. Like, I don't know what you. Which, like, is the highest specs, I suppose, is true, right? I think the problem, you know, it's not necessarily that, people need to run it at the highest specs and they have older hardware. It's that people are having trouble getting it to run at an acceptable frame rate, period. Or at a consistent one, because, you know, it's not just that it isn't hitting the frames the way it needs to be. It's like, oh, hey, you know, this is like all over the place. Between the shader stutter and everything else, like, this game is running, you know, inconsistently. But, like, the way he is out there talking about it is that he's just assuming that everyone is turning it all the way up and running it at 4K. So he's saying, like, I know a lot of you are dead set on playing at 4K with ultra max settings and using 2 or 3 year old hardware. You do you. But Borderlands 4 and Unreal Engine 5 are doing a lot. And for me, that trade-off for frames isn't worth it. I play at 1440p with settings super high, and I'm super happy with it.
Whatever you want to, drawn style.
You know, he said, code your own engine and show us how it's done, please. Like, there's just a good chunk of quotes here.
Classic. Keepers. They're keepers, bro.
From him.
Save
like,
those
as
tweets.
he is posting through it,
trust
if you
me,
will.
someone's got a file
like,
somewhere with his name on it.
Stop.
No, that's
like,
what they do.
What the fuck are you doing?
Code your own
engine and show us how it's done, please. We will be your customer when you pull it off. The people doing it now are clearly dumb and don't know what they're doing. And all the support and recommendations and code and architecture from the world's greatest hardware companies and tech companies working with the world's greatest real-time graphics engine coders don't know what you seem to know. /sarcasm. Great. Thanks for putting the sarcasm tag in there. Fun facts, customer service reports for Borderlands 4 are roughly at 1% or so of installs. Using that simple rounded ratio, more than half the tickets, meaning 0.55% of customers, are users reporting difficulty with their Shift accounts, like lost emails and access, etc. The next highest ticket is about FOV controls on console. We're working on it. Which he reluctantly even admitted that they were working on it, because at first he was like, oh, that might impact fairness in a mode I can't talk about yet. Meanwhile, the PC version already has FOV controls. What the fuck are you talking about? Next, 0.055% of customers are reporting issues with Twitch drops. And 0.04 of customers are PC performance related, with customer service flagging 0.009% as valid. 0.037% have experienced success with education. And then in parentheses, settings coaching. Yes, coach us through your settings. We're too stupid to figure out how to run your game, Randy. Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm not one of the world's greatest. If only I could code my own engine. You're right. It's fucking crazy. Okay, on top of that, the idea that people are going to go and file a customer service ticket because the game doesn't run right, like that's a thing people do. I mean, maybe more, you could argue that perhaps more people should. But that's not a common thing. You go to the Steam reviews, you refund the game on Steam, perhaps. You get it out of your life and you move on. And so I feel like using customer service percentages, like imagine being the person in customer service that like gets the email from Randy Pitchford going like, how many people are complaining? What's the percentages? Maybe it's already in a report and they don't have to do it, but like having to like fund the data for his social media war like is just fucking crazy, dude. Just not the way. Eurogamer, who also has spent more time doing social media than I'm willing to do, said that Randy Pitchford referred to Borderlands 4 as being pretty darn optimal, and that people shouldn't expect to be able to run it in huge resolutions. Every PC gamer must accept the reality of the relationship between their hardware and what the software they are running is doing. We have made an amazing and fun and huge looter-shooter campaign game. The game is pretty damn optimal, which means that the software is doing what we want without wasteful cycles on bad processes. With Borderlands 4, every PC gamer has a lot of tools to balance their preferences between frame rate, resolution, and rendering features. If you aren't happy with the balance between those things you are experiencing, please tune to your preferences using the tools available to you.
You down? Whatever you need, CJ.
I guess this is maybe the right point to bring it in and say Borderlands 4 doesn't look amazing. It doesn't look like it is dramatically beyond Borderlands 3 graphically. It doesn't look dramatically better. You're not looking at it going like, oh my god, this is the future of gaming. It's like, here you go, it's the new Borderlands. Okay, it just kind of looks like how it looks, man. It's the same basic style. It's the same basic, like, you know, these models don't look like they're animated. In fact, I think a lot of the animation on the models and the way they kind of pop in and out of, like, from idle animation to now I have to do a thing for a quest, the way that the NPCs in this game animate looks straight off the 360. You know, it's like, I don't know, like, yeah, it's the lighting, you know, sure. I'm not going to say it is not technologically more advanced than Borderlands 3, because I'm not really in a position to make that call, but like, if you're asking me, do I think it looks like dramatically better? Like, no, absolutely not.
Come on, stay calm.
So to talk about the 3 points he made here, that it is amazing, fun, and huge. Amazing? No, I think that's a big stretch. Fun, you know, it's relative, I guess. Sure, I don't know. Like I played a bunch of it, so I wrote the review after I had finished the campaign and did like kind of the onboarding. They do like an onboarding for the end game kind of post game stuff where you can enable different difficulty settings the same way like Diablo, like Fortnite 5, and so they have like a similar concept in there. So I went through that process. since I wrote all that stuff, I played a little bit more. There are like Borderlands vaults that you can find. You find key pieces around the world. And you can open up vaults. I did one of those. And so I think I've touched every single thing that game tries to do. I did not get to the 5th and final difficulty setting, and I don't think I will. But I feel like in the 40-ish hours I've spent with this game, I feel like I can speak to it pretty well at this point. And I think they made another Borderlands game.
Move on out of there.
Huge is the last one, he says. That is honestly...
this game is just going wow.
It is a gigantic empty world with jack fuck to do in it half the time.
Give me that grip.
And not enough fast travel points to skip over it, so you're left driving through these empty roads, and occasionally there's some enemies off to the side, and you could stop and fight them, but fucking why? Just keep driving, keep following the arrow until you get to where you're going. Like, it's really...
Come on, dude.
Like, that is something that I think could be tighter and better about the game.
Come on, man, keep up.
And so if part of this is because they're trying to render some massive world, which I don't, you have to go compare it to Borderlands 3's size or something like that if you really wanted to have this conversation, but I don't think that the size benefits it in any way. Maybe after years of DLC and that sort of stuff, they'll take better advantage of the space that they have and make better use of the world or something. But like as it stands right now, between the small handful of world events and the vaults and some of the other post-game stuff, like there's just a lot of this that just feels mindless, like aimless. Like, why is this world as big as it is? It doesn't the game is not better for it. In fact, the game is like actually worse for its size in some significant way. So, whatever. I just my thing here is like, I think the game has performance issues. I think that it probably needs some work in that department. If it can, I mean, he's saying it's pretty damn optimal, so maybe it's just fucked like this forever. And that's the game, right? If what he's saying is true, then no help is coming, right? It's just up to you to hit sliders and hope you can find something you live with, I guess. That said, I didn't have problems with frame rates, with DLSS turned on and even with frame gen turned off. Turned off and turned to 2x. I was, satisfied with the performance on this machine, but again, this machine is, what is it? It's like a 5090 and then like a 1470, whatever fucking Intel. One of the Intel CPUs that people are always worried is going to be on fire, but they have issued enough BIOS updates that hopefully it won't burn to the ground. So I think the response here is either again, if we're taking what he says at face value here and saying the game is pretty damn optimal, which means that the software is doing what we want without wasteful cycles on bad processes. If there's no further optimization coming, then you should refund the game if you're not happy with how it runs. If you can't find an acceptable middle ground for it, get your money back. Like that to me is the message of what he is saying there.
What's up? I'm in.
I suspect that there probably is more that could be done to get this game to run better, and more they could be doing, especially, as you turn some of the settings down, things that they could be reducing or turning off or whatever. How much you sacrifice in visual quality or whatever may vary in your own personal preferences there. Like, this weird, level of detail looking stuff with some of the foliage and, there's some really funky stuff there as well that I encountered that just kind of looked weird. Where the area about 30 feet around me was completely flat, and then the distance was showing foliage. Really strange. Usually it's the opposite of that or something, right? And maybe that's been patched. I saw that last week before the game was out. But
people say I give my secrets away.
Yeah, I don't know. People are not happy, and I think that it's
Hey, dude, keep up.
My curiosity here is think about it this way. At this point now, this studio is owned by 2K. This is not an independent studio where the head of this independent studio can say whatever he wants and and do what he wants, and there's zero repercussions, and some partners might be angry, but if they want to do business with him, that's what they have to put up with.
I don't know if I can catch up.
You know, you think about it a lot as like, well, Randy's going to be Randy, but now Randy is going to be Randy, and Randy is going to answer to 2K in a more direct way, I assume, unless he's on some very strange employment arrangement or, you know, contractual thing, but like, this is now 2K's property, and I can't imagine 2K is fucking stoked about this situation being the way it is now.
That's going in my retirement fund.
It would have been very easy to say, we've seen some reports about, you know, about some performance stuff and some of the shader compilation.
A single car.
And we're looking into it. And have that be that. You know, we're looking into it. Here's some shift keys. Like, I don't, you know, which he also has been posting. Shift keys.
That's what gets old right there.
And so I just,
well, it is
at some point you're just like, this is not helpful. This is starting to dominate conversation.
Hey,
I guess
over here.
I'll also say I have not seen a ton of conversation about the game. Period.
Okay.
Hey, be cool when nobody
except
get
for
killed.
this, it feels like the only conversations happening kind of in the wider online space. I'm sure if you go find a Borderlands specific area, you're going to have people going like, well, I thought that this build was better than this build, you know, like doing that sort of stuff.
Hey,
but the only things I have seen are people complaining about
get something to eat.
performance and sponsored people talking about like Borderlands 4 is out, like people in front of microphones like this talking about how Borderlands 4 is out and it's amazing and it's the best Borderlands yet, and like all of that sort of shit. So I don't know. Like it's just seems like a bad way to go. You know, you ship a game that people are you know, not able, like, even if people want to like it, you know, there are plenty of people who want to like it. I went into this game very much wanting to like it as someone who has had a fun time with Borderlands games in the past.
I love that food, Romeo.
Like, these are people that are dissatisfied with the performance, but because they want to play it.
Banging.
Yeah,
and so I feel like to have like multi-tweet tirades about how you need to fucking change your settings,
Don't you push me, fool.
is like treating
Dude, I
some of
literally
your
can't
customers
get
like
around
shit.
to
Now,
the front of
I will grant you that sometimes people on social media deserve to be treated like shit. It's social media. A lot of these people are fucking garbage, and that's just kind of how it goes in this day and age. But this is. This just seems like a bad way to go. I
finally got a kiss, I think.
Like, the game is I will say, I feel like Borderlands 4 is fine. Do I think it has some issues? Of course. Do I think that, like, there could have been some more dramatic changes made to it and whatever? Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think that sort of stuff, you know, could have been handled better across the board. And to have all of this conversation around the performance of the game, which is a very real concern, and you know,
we should do this again.
The shader stutter and everything else, like, you know, you do start to wonder: are people leaning on Unreal Engine 5 in ways that it was not meant to be used, or is it just is Unreal Engine 5 bad at some things? The shader stutter thing has been an ongoing conversation. It's just that Borderlands 4 is a very extreme example of it. And so this kind of goes back to this was all in my head as Tim Sweeney was being quoted in Korea as saying, you know, developers need to be better at optimizing their games for lower end systems, and that's the problem. Like, Borderlands 4 fits the description of what he was talking about pretty well, I think. But again, if we take Randy Pitchford at his word here, there's not a lot of optimization left to be done, which is troubling.
I'll do you for a cigarette.
But that's a decision they made. Is that decision worth it? Like, you know, you can always target high-end hardware. They're recommended and minimal specs don't
this dress is
really
off my circulation.
sound like they did. I mean, you know, like they're not low specs, but they're not crazy. But like, I don't know, man. It's a really strange sort of. It's a really strange
I'll pay
scenario
for that, lady.
here that I don't really know what the answer is to it, because it doesn't really feel like that they targeted a high-end hardware in a way that is noticeable visually. Like, again, I'm not coming away from this going like, wow,
too rough.
I sure am glad I spent all that money on a high-end graphics card, because really all I'm getting is like, oh, once the shader stutter is done, the game runs fine. Like, that's the nicest thing I can say about it technically. It's like, once it's done running like garbage, it runs great. You know? Like, that's a bad spot to be in with your high-end hardware or whatever. So to say that, like, oh, this is doing a lot on the GPU and the CPU, and this is Unreal Engine and Borderlands, they're doing a lot, like, the game doesn't look like that. The game does not come across.
What you need tonight,
like,
honey?
Like, the players, I don't think, are seeing the benefit of whatever it is you did under the hood to make it so demanding, because it doesn't seem like it is all that demanding. That's I guess my overall thought on Borderlands 4 is it's just like they made another thing. I don't know. I wish it was more. I don't know. There's like cool moments where you're like, oh, I did a sideways dash and then I jumped up and did the grapple. I happened to be in one of the right spots where there was a grappling hook target, and that flung me over here, and I was able to turn around and shoot this guy, and I double jumped up here.
Easy.
Like, you can kind of put those things together.
Where are all the Johns tonight?
But it feels like you're running at like 30% speed or something compared to, like, when you think about games that have those sorts of movement options and how fast they move generally. Like, think about like Doom. How fast Doom feels like it's moving, even if it's like a lot of it's the head bob and sound effects and whatever else that make it feel like you're going crazy. Like, this should be a game where you feel like you're just fucking going off. But it's stuck in the mud, man. It's stuck in first gear. They bolted on the parts that let you whip yourself around the level a little bit more, but didn't piece together any faster movement or anything else like that. And so they talk about it like, oh, it's the most mobile Borderlands yet. And you're like, yeah, that's true. I would not call it an especially mobile game. Like, it is not a mobility shooter. It is not like, it's just